An emotional win for Tim McCreadie, Kaleb Montgomery versus the Kaedings, old guys fast, and something we need to see more of across the sport. Let's go. It's Sunday, May 18th. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is DIRTRACKR Daily presented by Kubota Genuine Parts. If you don't already subscribe to the YouTube channel, the podcast, or follow DIRTRACKR on Facebook, take a second right now and hit that button. It is free to do so. The goal for the year is 50,000 on both YouTube and Facebook, and I'd love to have you join us. Subscribing to the show and following on Facebook, like I said, they're both free. You can watch full Daily Show episodes on YouTube, Facebook, and on Spotify. You can also listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other platforms, and you can read the show every day at dirtrackr.com/daily. All right, let's dig in. I want to start first today with the World of Outlaws sprint cars in Canada. We had a David Gravel sweep, that's going to go over like a lead balloon for the anyone but Gravel crowd. But after Thursday night's show, there was a quote from Gravel in Victory Lane that I want to spotlight. Gravel and Conor Morel started on the third row together in that feature, and those two ended up battling for the win. Going into the Canada swing, Morel had just a single Outlaw top 10 on his resume, so nobody expected him to lead laps and battle the defending Outlaw champion for a victory. In the post-race interview, Dirt Vision's Connor Wade asked Gravel about racing Morel, and after giving him some props, Gravel said, quote, "I chewed his ass earlier in the year for driving a little wild, and he did a great job tonight as a race car driver," unquote. We've talked plenty in the past about the aggression just being super high right now in dirt racing, and there's never an end to the complaints about the young drivers coming up who don't do things the right way. Behind the scenes, we need more instances of guys like David Gravel pulling drivers aside and saying, hey, you're just not doing this right. There are going to be plenty of times where those other drivers don't want to hear it, they're going to push back, but there's also going to be cases where things land and guys will listen. A guy like Morel may have not wanted to hear that from Gravel, but he was probably right, and Morel ended up on a podium and got kudos for running a clean race. Gravel himself is a clean racer. He's definitely now among that group that has the pull to do stuff like this. Those veteran guys like Gravel or Donnie Schatz or Logan Schuchart, Rico, Brent Marks, if they pulled me aside, I would shut up and listen. And I'm sure you can think of those names in late model racing or modifieds who would do the same. People are always going to get raced like they race everyone else. And when 24 cars are on track, there will always need to be at least some level of cooperation and give and take. Instead of pissing and moaning in interviews online, we need more guys to just go have those conversations. And no, I don't mean ones where punches are thrown. One schedule note, the Outlaws show today at Cornwall is rained out. The Outlaws are off until an Ohio trip that starts next Friday. Sticking with sprint cars, only one high-limit race run this weekend, Friday at Ramsonville, and a few things to point out from this one. First, a nice bounce-back win for Justin Peck after losing that one back on Monday at Kokomo. He definitely learned from his mistakes, which he talked about afterwards, and he was able to beat Tyler Courtney and Aaron Reitzel. It was Peck's first 410 sprint car win since High Limit at Eldora last September, and Rudin's first 410 sprint car win since Zeb Wise won a Super Dirt Cup prelim at Skagit last summer. Peck on a solid run here lately, 7 top 10s in his last 8 races and 4 straight podium runs. Also, this championship battle has at least some intrigue now with 12 races complete. Brad Sweet was involved in that crash at Lakeside, could only get to 12th on Friday night as well. So his 83-point lead after Texas has now been chopped down to 29 with Tyler Courtney in pursuit. With Gravel just straight running away with the Outlaw side at the moment, this might be our only hope for a fight between these two national series. High Limit's busy month continues this week with a Tuesday stop at Grandview before then heading to Port Royal next weekend for the 3-day Weikert. Before we move on to some late model stuff, I did want to talk NARC real quick. Justin Sanders, a winner on Friday at Ocean, and Caden Steele and Tanner Holmes split the wins last night at Tulare. It was a tough few weeks for Kaleb Montgomery. He tangled with Tim McCreadie the week before at Antioch, then had a run-in with Bud Kaeding at Ocean. I appreciated him having at least some sense of humor about it, though. He posted to social media yesterday that the rumor was Brent Kaeding was coming out of retirement to also wreck him. There was also a hilarious comment from a guy named Chunk on Montgomery's Friday night post about tangling with Bud, with the comment saying, quote, "You have got to be kidding me." The internet just remains undefeated. Here's to hoping Caleb's luck turns around. Check out his YouTube channel if you haven't. Great stuff over there. All right, late models. It was the usual suspects at Eagle with Lucas. Ricky Thornton Jr. book-ending weekend wins, winning the opener on Thursday and then the big money last night. Jonathan Davenport victorious there in between. RTJ still with a tight grip on the points lead, and JD's last 4 finishes are first, second, first, second. Garrett Alberson had a quiet, solid weekend. He maintains that 4th and final chase spot. He's got 45 points on Hudson O'Neal headed to the Show Me 100 at Wheatland. Huddy just continuing his charge up the order with solid 3 days. Also, the one driver I've been surprised about lately is Dalton Wilson. He had some good runs early on and led laps back at Georgetown, but in the 7 races since then, just a single top 10, a 10th at Fairbury. The other 6 races all saw him finish 14th or worse. He was on the podium at the Show Me 100 last year, so maybe a good time to head to Wheatland for that team. With the World of Outlaws, a big-time emotional win on Thursday at Raceway 7 for Tim McCreadie, and really for a few different reasons. It was the 1-year anniversary of the passing of Tim's father, Barefoot Bob McCreadie, and then that Boom Briggs team also absorbing the loss of Chubb Frank's wife in recent days. Chubb and Boom, they're cousins, super close, those guys. McCreadie was choked up in victory lane, and it was a win that clearly meant a lot to him. Things went sideways last night with a crash, but T-Mac definitely headed in a much better direction since switching from the Rocket to the Longhorn. We documented him going testing with Kevin Rumley, and he's been faster since with 4 straight top 7 finishes. That was before last night's issues, and that included laps led in 2 straight races. He's currently 5th in the Outlaw standings. Last night's win at Marion Center went to championship leader Bobby Pierce, a dominating win. His points lead was extended to 82 over Nick Hoffman. The Outlaws are in action today at Bedford Speedway, and then we won't see them again until later in June. Let me just start this next segment off by saying, I mean, no disrespect to the old guys out there, but how about the old guys handling business against the Hunt the Front Super Dirt Series this weekend? Jimmy Owens hadn't won a single race at all in more than a year, and now he's gone back-to-back between the Spring Nationals at Lake Cumberland last week and the Hunt the Front Super Dirt Series at Sugar Creek on Friday. He outdueled fellow old guy Dale McDowell to get it done, and then those two were right back at it again last night at Smoky Mountain, only this time things were reversed, with McDowell beating Owens for the $15,000 check. The run of form has Owens now second, just 8 points behind Hunt the Front championship leader Zach Mitchell. The Hunt the Front series is back in action in 2 weeks at Swainsboro. Weekend USAC wins went to Justin Grant and Cannon McIntosh in the midgets on the Belleville short track. On the big track, JG also scoring the Silver Crown win last night. USAC midgets racing today with action shifting over to Sweet Springs. It's a busy Sunday out there for dirt racing action, so make sure to stop by DIRTRACKR.com/watch tonight to see a lot of options that you have today. Several sprint car shows, late models, midgets, various modified races, all of that. So DIRTRACKR.com/watch tonight. We'll call it good right there for today. Hope you guys have a great Sunday out there. We will see you right back here tomorrow.